Yes, welcome. On today's episode.
Is this my effing life?
Yeah.
So this is totally unserious. So if you're trying to look for like a serious podcast, this probably is not it for you.
Yeah.
We just honestly are ourselves and then hit the record button. So our last podcast, we talked about stressful situations at our workplace to kind of explain some noise that was online and to kind of address that and just get that out of the way. We did say in our other podcast that we wanted to make this a positive experience, but I felt like a lot of our time on the other videos we spent having to explain certain things. So this one is going to be a little bit about that to add context, but it's mostly going to be about the red flags that we ignored so you guys don't have to go through that. And if you're in a workplace that has these similar situations or toxic vibe, we want you guys to have the tools to recognize that. And we don't have all the answers. We haven't figured that out ourselves completely because we're still young, professionals, and we're trying to compartmentalize things that have happened to us and recognize those things. But we want to at least give you the advice from what we learned from our past. So, and kind of like let people know that's not cool. So, yeah. What do you want to start with? We did talk about favoritism and unfair treatment a lot in the last video.
Yeah.
So we can kind of let them know what we experienced with regards to favoritism and unfair treatment.
Okay.
And how people can, and then I can kind of follow up and say, okay, how can we make that better? What's problem solving that we can do to improve that for people?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
So for me personally, favoritism, like I saw it towards, because I was the education coordinator. I saw favoritism towards the health and safety coordinator and the office manager and certain teachers and families. It's just a whole thing. But when I mean favoritism with coworkers, as education coordinator, I was responsible for doing all these things in the office, but I was told I needed to be in the rooms like as much as possible, which is fine. Okay. I don't have a problem with that. I do have a problem though, whenever it's every single day. And when I mean every single day, it's like I am in there covering a teacher because it was constant call outs. Constant. I would wake up in the morning and look at my phone and it was just so-and-so called out, so-and-so called out. And I just immediately be in fight or flight mode. My nervous system was a wreck. And so I'm having to struggle, hurry up and get ready to go to work or to get to work to cover this person. So it's I'd be covering them all day. And then by the time it's the end of the day, I don't have time to do my office stuff I need to do.
Right.
So
favoritism doesn't just impact you not getting, picked for certain things or bypass opportunities, and also add a lot of workload onto you that's unfair as well. So I think hindsight 2020 for me, with being in a management position and trying to, organize all that, would just be not to be scared, because I did say in the other video, you have to be a little bit more brave and kind of speak up and say, hey, can we get this on a rotation schedule? Can we do this? But I felt like, I know at the end of the day, it probably would have fallen on deaf ears, but we probably should have collaborated a little bit more in speaking up and saying, hey, I'd like to organize it to where we rotate in this because it's what is normal district level. When I be subbing, they would have an unexpected call out as well. I would be subbing for one classroom. They asked me to be flexible and cover two at one time for 30 minutes because we split the class. And I knew how to do it because we've bumped kids into other things before. But what was amazing to me is the front office manager or secretary and I were organizing that last minute or change. And then the principal came out of her office and was really gracious and was like, you know what? I can put what I have to do on the back burner, and I'm going to help. The assistant principal and I are going to help make this coverage work. And I really like that because it just really showed a lot of collaboration and stuff. And sometimes I would step in and help cover lunches and other things. And I think just showing yourself as that type of leader is really important. But in hindsight, there's some things I could have tried to say more, but again, you can't be scared.
Yeah, and it wasn't really towards you. It's just like towards the owner, because she had all these crazy expectations of, you need to be in there observing. I need to have 5 observations a month. Yada yada yada. Well, that's cool. Like, I can do that, but it's hard for me.
That's where I stepped up as a leader. Yeah. And you have to have a good leader. So I would say if you already are in a position at a school where you're doing those things, but you're not seeing your leaders do those things, I think that's really worrisome. And you should probably take note of that.
Yeah.
I would always be in the classroom sweeping, mopping. There's nothing that is below me that I'm not supposed to do or anything. I don't think that way. I'll take out the trash, change diapers. I'll do anything.
Yeah, and you did that a lot.
I did that a lot. Yeah, and so I think that helps with kind of dampening favoritism. But I would also say, like, try your best. I know some people also on the flip side of all this are probably thinking like, well, like, I tried doing that, but they're just not recognizing me or something. Has a lot to do with participation and what you be a stronger part of the team. And that's where promotions are important, because that if you're raising your hand and participating and being noticed, that definitely could lead to what people would think is favoritism, but it's actually just collaboration and getting noticed and recognized for your work. And so it's a fine line, though, between the two. So you have to be careful and like really actively and mindfully manage those things.
Yeah. I think for me it just sucked because I made all these changes to accommodate what she wanted. And meanwhile, the coordinator just sits on her day and scrolls through TikTok or texts her best friend who's literally working 20 feet away from her in her classroom. They just message. I don't know. It's just like frustrating, and didn't do anything about it. But it is what it is now. And then favoritism with the office manager, like, she could never go in a classroom. Like, God forbid we put her in a classroom.
And that's not industry standard. So like, Ryan's probably coming from a place of expressing what happened to her and what she feels about it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna kind of intervene and also share some personal feelings of like what happened to me as well to share. But I'm gonna be a sounding board for what, and letting you know like what is not normal in the industry. Nobody in the front office for any like job I worked at, whether it's the university, lab, school, whether it's like other franchise, corporate childcare, nobody in the front office at Primrose, when push came to shove, like, she knew all the rules to a T. She was really like not a perfect manager, but I didn't really. I think she just hated everybody. So, but she also didn't exempt any of us out of that. So, like, Kelly had to go into her room, Tan had to go into her room, I had to, Stephanie, everyone did. It was never, nobody's exempt from that. I mean, there of course was a situation where Kelly was like, she was our admissions director. She was like, I am mortified of babies. She had her own son, but she was physically scared of holding the young babies, like the ones who are 6 or 8 weeks old, because some people just get really scared. Yeah. And that was fine. She communicated that to us. So then we just worked it around to where if she ever had to cover bathroom breaks or something, she really wouldn't go in those rooms. So, but it wasn't like an exclusive rule that Kelly was exempt from helping anybody. That's not how it went.
Yeah. It just felt like those two were exempt. Yeah. And it was like, okay, whatever. And then the favoritism towards like the different families, like one family versus another, was outrageous.
Yeah. And that we kind of explained in our other videos, and that's just obvious. It's just, you should not accept gifts or rewards in a position of authority in exchange for better treatment, or for your child to have like exemplary treatment compared to somebody else. So it's not right. So those are red flags that I would say to like not accept or maybe make a change. Other things would be, let's see, micromanaging. So that's a huge one. Yeah, I hate a micromanager. That is the opposite of my style. And some people may be annoyed because I'm too lax and I don't breathe down people's necks at every moment of every day. But I don't do that. I trust my team, and that's a big red flag. If you have, and this has been on many podcasts before, if you have a manager who just cannot let go and trust you, it's a red flag. They have their own issues. And 9 times out of 10, it really is their own issues because they had the control of hiring you in the first place. And so if they went through properly vetting you and making sure that you're right for the position, why do they need to breathe down your neck? And what's unique about that is normally if it was true about one person, it probably would be the qualifications of that person, right? It would probably be like they're second guessing their choice in hiring you or something like that. But if it's happening across the board to every employee there and it's the same approach and same macromanaging style, that's really not good.
Yeah, and it was like constantly watching us. Like the owner would watch us through her Ring doorbell camera, which was at the front when you would like clock in. Like you had to scan your eyes for the door to open. It was a security thing. She would just watch you, constantly monitoring Slack, which is the communication platform we were using to talk back and forth, communicate with the teachers because we didn't do walkies. She's just constantly harping on us. Like, if one little second went by, somebody's like, I need a bathroom
we clocked
break.
it one time. Remember how I said, okay, watch this, I'm going to clock it. Yeah. And then we're just going to see how long it sits there before she, like, hops on it. And not 2 minutes on my timer went off before she was like, did you get that?
Did you get that? You got to get that?
We're just like,
did you run those errands? Did you run those errands? Did you errands? The errands? Like, shut up.
It's like a SpongeBob
Leave
episode.
us alone.
Yeah. It was crazy.
God.
It was crazy. But
I hated that
if
so
someone
much.
tagged someone else that was being favored to go do something or address something and it wasn't answered, but she wouldn't hop onto them. Yeah. So again, back to like the favoritism thing. It was always just
like us who had to go do these bathroom breaks and stuff. Like she couldn't go and do it because 9 times out of 10, I was in a classroom already covering. So she'd be harping on you. Never. Oh God, not her precious little pet. Never.
Yeah, it was. That's not normal behavior.
Yeah,
it should be collaborative. It should just like if they see that we're in the middle of something, like I would literally be in talking to a parent who just stopped by my office to say hi. I mean, taking a long time telling like whatever they had to share, and my sound was on my Slack, and it was her just constantly just like on it, and I'm like, okay,
you're like, leave me
but
alone.
there could be full blown conversations across the way,
right?
For many times, and. I feel like anytime we were laughing, even though it was something that happened at work that just made us laugh and we were just like taking a moment to breathe.
When you're okay, you got to have fun at work. I'm sorry. If you're not, what the f are you doing?
Yeah.
Like you can multitask. You can be doing your work that you need to do and you can like crack a joke while doing it. That was funny. She hated it. She hated it. Zero fun. You were to have no fun. She caught you laughing. It was like.
Straight to jail.
She'd just be like,
like that one Parks and Rec episode where it's like
laughing.
She was like, straight to jail.
Yeah, straight to jail. I'm like,
cough too loud, straight to jail.
Yeah, no, literally. She was crazy.
Yeah, so that's what I would just say is like, look out for those signs. Turning staff against each other is also a big one. I feel like I, again, was a vessel to communicate to all these teachers. And Ryan's worked with me before as a manager. We were not friends before I worked with her as a manager level prior to meeting you at work.
Yeah.
So she knows my style. It is very relaxed, very easygoing, but then also has a serious undertone. Like you'll know the change when I'm like, cut the. You need to do it. I don't say curse words at my staff, but only on here. But cut the crap. You know what you need to be doing. This is not like non-negotiable. But I give a lot of chances. Very chill.
Yeah.
But I have like my own way of checking in on things. And so, and I just, again, I could read the room really well. That's why I'm a good teacher. That's why I'm a good manager, because I can feel the energy shift. I know when things are going on between two employees. I hear a lot and collect a lot of information, but I felt like a lot of bitterness creeped into my heart with this job and like how she wanted to approach things that I could have done better, like talking to the employees, like when I was trying to convey a message to the staff. And so that's something that I like look on, like, hindsight 2020. But again, overall, I felt like it was really something that she should have been responsible for a lot of times when she. someone wearing a sweatshirt over the Goddard shirt or something like that. Like, I'm not going to harp on someone. If they're cold, I'm not going to sit there and argue with you whether, and it was an appropriate shirt. It was just like a normal Goddard sweatshirt actually from somewhere else, and they were like harping on them for it.
Yeah, again, watching through the
I'm
Ring
like, it
doorbell
doesn't
camera.
matter. It's a Goddard brand. It's somewhere that like they had worked at before. Like, why does it matter if they wear that? I just don't understand what the issue is. But so then she would like call me and try to like be a vessel so that I looked like I was like picking on the employees all the time, and it probably looked like favoritism on their end because they were like, oh, this and that, you know, stuff. So I'm like, no. So I would just say
you
like,
guys have no idea. Like
that is something I've learned that should not be. Oh, okay. So then there's one about like, I would frame this in a way to kind of encapsulate a lot of different things. So this one's a big one. It would be recognizing the signs and being brave to speak up when someone of authority or the person that signs your paychecks is doing the wrong thing. And I struggle with that all the time, even for my last job, being nervous about that because I knew where that was going to lead, you know? And it's disappointing because sometimes that leads you right back to, well, that favoritism or that backdoor friendship is going to win out anyway because they are in that authority. But then that is not meant for you anymore. That path, that work space is not meant for you anymore. So I did what I was thought to do the right thing with reporting that.
Yeah.
Life worked out to where a few years went by, but then the favoritism creeped back in because they had the ultimate power and control and authority to like bring that person back. So I would say like for this situation, I was just scared to like speak up and like say things because I was worried for my job, and my kids went there too, so it was also gonna ruin their lives if I had like said anything. But it would just be, and I tried my best with this, and I have to give myself more grace of like speaking up when things are not right, like the gate situation and how long I had to sit out in the sun for and babysit the gate. And I know it was for safety, and I know that we did have an alternative. We had the MPR, we had, you know, other places to go, like the indoor gym and stuff. But I should have said, why is this not, I should have pressed harder. Like, why is this taking so long? But it wasn't until the parents were speaking up, they're like, no, really, why is this gate still an issue
going
after?
off and the battery constantly like asking like, hey, we got to get the gate fixed. We got to get the gate
because
fixed.
Again, other issues with the building,
like
the
a
ground
broken
kept
fucking
shifting.
record.
And I know that's not, you know, the owner of the building, the owner of the business's fault, but the building's fault with not having this done, addressed quickly. But at the same time, the foundation was shifting and the grass was cracking, and it was causing our fence to unalign and the gate to pop open. And that was causing safety concerns for us. And it was a whole thing where like it was affecting the alarms on the gates as well. And so,
and then when all that construction happened, they had literal huge holes in the walls. They couldn't go outside for like a month or a couple weeks or
exposed
month.
on the outside. So
and
that
we just
was also
constantly was like, hey, when's that gonna get fixed? We got
right. And I don't know if it was a money issue. I don't know if like what it was, but
I don't know, but like the day before my last day, it was magically getting fixed because enough parents complained.
A parent who talked to both of us,
and it all of a sudden was getting fixed. I'm like,
right before I left,
whatever.
and at that point I was like, I mean, this is out of my hands. But that parent pressured, and they got what they wanted out of it. But it's like, why does it take someone like a parent to have to handle that? Why couldn't
Why can't you just listen to the people who run your school?
So I would just say like, speak up when you're being, you know, and I tried to, you know, that's one thing I did learn and try to speak up, and that's what ultimately led me to make the decision that it's going to fall on deaf ears. They're going to do what they want at their pace anyway, and then I walked away. And I know that's really hard for some people because they're really stuck, but I would just say pester until they get it done. That's the only other way that you're going to
especially when it's like done. You know, relating to safety concerns and issues.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. The other thing I would just say like really poor behavior on behalf of like belittling people and things like that. Like,
yeah, her husband's notorious for that.
Yes. So there were two examples that I really was like, again, like the signs were all there, but again, I was stuck. I was stuck in this situation because I had just found out about Chris, or I was finding out about him, and we had to go to this gala. And I was like, just I'm trying to make the best of this, get out, enjoy myself. My husband was invited. Another teacher was invited because of their longevity, and our spouses.
Yeah.
Like, I think
I was invited too, but I couldn't because I was coming back from Miami.
Yeah, you had something go on.
Something going on, and so I couldn't go.
Yeah.
But when I heard this story, I was like, what is happening?
Yes. So what happened with that was we were invited to the gala. I thought we were going to just drive there and meet. It wasn't. It was at the PGA tournament, like conference area hotel. I don't exactly remember where we were, but we were just like funneled into that. Yeah. But so yeah, I was over in Frisco at the PGA Tour area, and it was beautiful facility, a beautiful area, but we were disappointed because Sean and I just, again, have short social batteries sometimes, and we have to like swallow that and do it for work, and we're like, okay, let's just go. So they took the wind out of our sails because we were like, oh, we can spend time together and talk on the way down. No, they wanted to take a bus, like a little,
like a party bus,
like a catered like bus.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, great, we have to like socialize for a whole nother extra couple hours there and back on top of the hours that we spend together at this auction, the silent auction. And so we went, and on the way there, like Sean was falling asleep. He falls asleep anywhere. He's like an old man. It's so funny. I have pictures. It's great. I won't share them because I love him, so I won't do that. But it was funny. He fell asleep. And so, and then I'm not going to say their names because like it doesn't, like the people that we work with, yes, to give context, but I won't drag like their spouses into this. So, so he was just quiet, and he was doing his own thing, looking at his phone and stuff. And then they were sitting in the back, and then it was really like the three girls up front and her husband. And so he's already drunk. You can tell he like, or had been drinking, either that or I don't know.
Or
he didn't sleep
just
all night.
Stupid.
No, I think he had been drinking because I've seen him normal and
yeah.
But he looked like he had already been drinking, and he says to the driver like, "Oh, can we have control of the radio?" Or he was trying to figure it out, and here I am thinking he's gonna put on like yacht rock or something like 70s rock, whatever,
like some normal music,
chill dad road trip music or something. No, or country. He puts on, and he's so condescending, and it's like he's talking to us as if we're the children.
Yeah, he's
like, do you guys want to hear this? I got some cool jams. And I was like, oh God, like I thought of like still that attitude, but I'm thinking like yacht rock or something else that was gonna play,
or like Sir Mix-a-Lot. You're like, what is he gonna play?
No, he played, well, that comes later, I'll tell you that too. So he plays Wheels on the Bus, and he plays Hot Potato.
Didn't he play Fruit Salad too?
Fruit Salad. So he's playing Fruit Salad
great.
by the Wiggles, and just other like really condescending like behavior. Just is just like, you guys, this is your favorite song, huh? Like trying to be funny, and I was like, really? Come on, we're grown women. We don't need to be doing this right now, and we do this because it's our job all day long, and we don't need to be made fun of for it. It was just not appropriate. Then comes to find out when we get there, we didn't get any prior information about this. We just thought it was this women's league that we were trying to advertise our school and help like with charity. But we come to find out that Maddie got a scholarship like from this women's league, I guess, like, for college. So we're like, okay, now you're just like paying it forward. Got it. It's all tying it back to like their kids and their own aspirations, which I'm like, I don't fault you for, because I'm like, at the end of the day, like whatever, but you could have said that to us from the beginning and not making it this other thing. So so that would be one example, and the other example would be that they would like love bomb us with like all of these things, like, oh, we're gonna take you to a Rangers game and all this stuff, and we're like, okay, we go to the Rangers game all the time. But they did get really cool seats one time, and they like would bring their son on like all of these things, like,
Yeah, well, what?
and I just don't like.
I'm like, why? He doesn't work
He's
with
a minor,
us.
first of all.
First of all, yeah.
And I don't want to drink in front of like a minor.
He
I
doesn't
mean, I'm not
work
gonna
with
get
us.
crazy and
And not to
unprofessional, but
mention, the night we went to the game, the night before, he had already gone to
really
another
good,
game.
like a sweet
in
seats.
a suite.
Yeah, and
I'm like, get out of here. Stay home.
Yeah, I'm like, why are you here? This is for our reward. Like,
and I think
but
what really irritated me is
how we got there.
Like, we get there.
We were not late.
Yeah, we weren't late. We park. We're trying to meet up with them. They're already at the seat and 5 fingers deep and nachos.
They were
and burgers.
already done eating. They were done eating.
Like they were like finishing up.
And to provide context, when we got there at the game, what? We had to stop. We were going up the escalator to the seats, and they had already. And these are seats where you can like order food, where the camera guys sit like out in the field, we're looking towards home plate. Like we were up there in that level of Globe Life Field, and you can have a waitress come by and like take your order and everything. They'll bring you the food. So so their family was already eating, but we had to stop at the escalators because the national anthem was going. So we stopped.
Yeah.
And then when it was finished, we like started going back up. But we were right there, right where we needed to be within 5 minutes walking distance. But they had already finished their meal, and then we felt super awkward because there wasn't even enough seats for all of us, because it was not just like the management team, it was like a couple other employees that were with us too that had met
they're part of the club,
which is named after their child too, which I think is funny. So yeah, and then it's just really interesting because like there wasn't even enough seats for us, and it was like 2 tables, and I had to sit. I took the L for the team because I'm like, I don't want my other teachers to have to sit awkwardly like this. I'm gonna sit like right here where I don't have a table, and I'll just hold my food.
Yeah, me and her both. We had to hold our food.
It was weird. So, and they didn't even tell us like how to order, what to order, because at some events, you always want to be courteous and use proper etiquette when you're at a work event. This is another teachable moment. You want to make sure you have enough money to cover yourself in case there's some sort of issue of communication, to where like you're supposed to cover your own food. Right. And whether it's alcoholic drinks, non-alcoholic drinks, whatever, you always want to have enough money to cover that to make sure you're good.
They didn't give us no context about that before we went.
So we were just like, okay, we're just going to make sure like we're good. We had money, so this wasn't an issue about that. It was just about etiquette. So we weren't told about that, and so we were prepared, but we just wanted clarity. They didn't even tell us, like, when you get there, you expect someone to like stand up when you arrive and like, hi, welcome, like we've been waiting for you. Like maybe get yourself a drink, but don't get yourself food before your guests arrive, because that's just not appropriate.
Oh, no, they were
already done eating.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Before the game even started, so we were just like, oh goodness.
And then I remember when we ordered our food, it took forever to get our food.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I don't fault that, because like probably everyone in that section is like ordering at one time, but it would have been nice for them to say, okay, flat out, like, we're covering all the food or one meal and like part, and then you guys cover alcoholic drinks or whatever. But again, I didn't feel like drinking, even if I were to just have one beer, because their son's there, and the son's in high school, but still, it's just... it's a wet rag on everything. Yeah. like when that happens, just like, oh. So, so that was really interesting. And they didn't talk to us the entire time. Like, it was loud a little bit, and I was like the buffer in between, but they didn't really try to conversate or anything. It was just like, they were just like, oh, okay, we're here because we had to promise them this.
Yeah, it was really weird.
It was not because they were enjoying themselves or like even pretending to enjoy themselves. And what's really strange is like, I would get if this was just like a Goddard thing that the franchise was like forcing them to do. No, this was their own made up reward, their own thing that they were going to reward these employees. And it wasn't everybody, to where their cup was run dry of their social battery and they were burnt out. That was 5 of us. It was a very intimate, like, setting. It wasn't like something that they were going to be exhausted from being sociable about. And it was just very awkward. So... and it was it wasn't just us who they didn't care for. I mean, the other employees that were there, they cared a lot for it. So at least like we knew, like, they were doing it to everybody. So I was like, that's really strange. Yeah. And we've had other incidents like this to where this has happened to us. Like, do you want to explain what happened when?
Yes. So well,
let me explain first to give them context. I'm going to give you context about how we got to eat with them afterwards. But again, like the health and safety coordinator was not performing well. Yeah. And, they were nitpicking about things that I wasn't doing well either. Like, I don't even know. It was just like stupid stuff. Like I needed to manage them better to do their job, even though, again, it was that micromanaging, like, sewage all over
I
me.
get so confused because I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm already in a
we're
classroom.
Busting our butt.
I'm busting my butt. I'm helping these teachers. Lexi's not doing half I'm doing or you're doing. So I'm like, great, what now?
So they wanted to meet they first gave us a book that was called Leaders Eat Last, which is featured on a lot of podcasts. There's one guy that I forget his name now, I'm drawing a blank, but he talks about this book, and I haven't read it yet. I've only seen like snippets and little audio clips of it, but basically the author talks about the military dynamic and how the commanders and everything in the Army or the supervisors are last to eat before their platoon or whatever they're supervising. And I'm not in the military. I don't know how the dynamics work. Every branch is different as well, but I can tell you, in good conscience, that's probably an easy topic to write about, right? It's just like an easy metaphor to give, and it's just like maybe a spoon-fed metaphor to explain how leadership should work. But that's not always true, because you have to recognize, yes, they eat first, but they're also the first in battle, to be out there sacrificing as well, where your commanders are up making all those really impactful decisions, but your people that are on the front lines are the ones that are experiencing combat and war and stuff. So that theory could be picked apart, but that's a topic for a different day. And again, I haven't read the book, so I don't want to give it an opinion until I've finished it. And so I was given the book. I didn't want to read it out of spite, not because I didn't already know about this author and this book, but because I just felt like they would go online, look at podcasts or other soundbite videos when they're scrolling on their algorithm, and then they're like, "That's a great idea. We should."
They're like,
yeah, that sounds great. Let's just go tell them that. So we were given this book, and I didn't want to read it out of spite because I was just really irritated with the whole concept, because I'm thinking, you go on all these vacations, you buy all these things, we are busting our butt, you're here a lot less, even though the franchise requires you to be here more than half the time. I have to stay on tours and lie and say you are here more than half the time when now you're not, because you're working from home and you're working with your office manager from home. I just didn't believe in what they were saying. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, because they're not really showing us Leaders Eat Last.
No, they're not showing us that Leaders Eat Last at all. So I was really like,
so it's like your words mean it.
So that was already really frustrating.
Yes.
And then we have this meeting. They said, we want you to...
Yeah, we had to sacrifice one of our Saturdays for
this meeting. And I basically tell them my piece about everything, how I feel. I'm like, this is what needs to happen. I tell them what I need. I asked them for the wait list in front of everybody in the management team. I said, I need to see that in order to succeed. I need to see that for move-ups. Right. They were discussing whether or not to have a young toddler program or open up a kindergarten, because we had 2 young toddler classrooms at the time, those types of things. It's they wanted all my expertise and information, and they wanted me to be the fall guy if it didn't work out, but they were the one to be the ultimate decision makers for it without any of my input. It's they wanted me to just give them the green light on everything without, putting up my own, defense for things. And when I would say, hey, pull back, that's not a good idea, because the program's going to cost you only 15 spots, and it's going to cost you almost $10,000 to do that. And if you go over an enrollment, say the district really does have a down slump of pre-K, and you have them, do 16 students. On your 16th, you'd have to buy the whole program, a second program again, because it's only fit for X amount of students. And it just doesn't make sense. We didn't have transportation at that school. So where you would make your money would be from your after-school pickups, because you would be utilizing the people that you would use that classroom for, because most of the kindergartners would probably leave because they're trying to get used to that dismissal schedule, because they have to go to the district anyway. But you would make up your money in the people that still need after-school care, and we didn't have that.
Nope.
So it made no sense. It wasn't evening out, and I'm saying they're going to lose money on that situation.
But of course, they don't want to listen.
They didn't want to listen, so we'll just see how that goes for y'all later on in life. But, that's their own lessons to learn, just because I've tried to give them advice about that. But we went to this meeting. We hashed all that out. They really got irritated with me because I just was like very frank and honest during that meeting, I think. And they were like, oof. And I think that's when it started to go really downhill, because they were like, oh, we're not going to, she's a pit bull. She's not going to budge on this.
Right.
Then we went to Gloria's, and that's where Ryan's going to share her perspective on what happened, because they were feeling some type of way that I got to say my piece and kind of defend all of them. And then this happens at lunch.
We're like, okay, we're going to go get brunch. So we drive there, we get there, we had to stop.
I call them to tell them I'm going to Costco real quick
down
the road to get gas.
I gotta go get gas, and then we'll be there. Oh yeah, no problem. Okay. We get there.
And it was not busy at Costco.
It was not busy. We get there, right? Again, 5 finger deep. Beans, queso, I think all the queso was gone. Just like John Goodman in that one episode of Family Guy was like, no, you can't have the food, no, it's all mine. And just obliterating this food, and we just show up.
And again, this is about etiquette.
I'm like, you just had a meeting with us about leaders eat less, and here you are, just tearing it up. You can't wait for us.
Yeah,
y'all are rude.
It's just they don't practice what they preach.
Hypocritical. Yeah, exactly.
And it's just etiquette. It's
that.
You order yourself a drink, you sit there and wait. You wait for the people around you.
Sorry, I get riled up.
Yeah, it's okay. I was riled up in the last one too. But we're not trying to put anyone down with that. We're just trying to give you an idea of what we've had to deal with.
Yeah.
And what you guys should look out for, because if your bosses do that to you, that's just not appropriate.
Yeah.
To do. So you just want to be, especially, or if you end up, working your way through and being a boss yourself, don't act this way. Yeah. Is basically what we're trying to say.
Yeah, so it was just ridiculous. So we order our food, we eat. They were done pretty quickly. We eat, and then Amanda's like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. And we're like, all right. So it's me and Lexi sitting there, and we want to talk to them about because we had to wear polos and can't stand the polo thing, but it is what it is. We had to wear polos, but Amanda always got to wear a nice blouse,
business
casual,
for tours
and just to look more presentable, because she's up front, she's the face of the school. And so we're just bringing that up to them, hey, we're wondering if we can dress like that too, we think it would be a good idea. And he was being a condescending. By the time the conversation was done, I just want to get up and leave, because I'm like, you're a jackass. He was just like, I'm just not understanding. I'm like, what the are you not understanding? I'm telling you that we want to dress more professional.
Yes, because
what is wrong with that?
The thing is,
I can't empathize with you guys. I just don't understand. Brr, 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 brr. And I was like, I'm literally about to clock you in your face right now.
The thing is, at that school, they have one color for all the newbies. Then when you've been there for 2 years, then you finally get a nicer, more neutral, presentable color. The other color is red and vibrant and out there, and the other color is navy. It's a little more clean and Goddard color. And that's confusing, because some people don't understand, is this person someone who's been here for 2 years, or is this a manager? Because the managers didn't have a separate color, and that's what all they were trying to say. Can we dress professionally? Because I have said in the past, anywhere else I've worked, it's always been the managers up front got to wear either we had our own polos too, because if we knew we were going to be in a classroom, we would wear the Barefoot Lodge shirt, and we knew that was going to be we were running after school program or something. But then we also needed, they told us, okay, you guys need to dress really professionally, because you're doing tours and stuff. Even to where one of my ADs who didn't even like to wear closed-toed shoes and stuff, she had to wear slacks and nice shoes, and so we're like, okay.
Yeah.
And the same with that Primrose, anyone up front, it was nice slacks, nice blouse. They were a little bit more strict with theirs, so it was really business clothes rather than business casual. And so and we had name badges that had like our title and our name on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I suggested that because I said that's something that's normal in the industry, and that like that's what would differentiate the blue shirts now, because we have had successful retention.
Mm-hmm.
That would be something that we would need to look at. And they basically, Ryan told me, they were like, "Oh, you want a green shirt? Like you want a neon green shirt?" Like saying it like,
Yeah, just being condescending. I was like, you know what? I have this conversation.
Yeah. So it was just things like that. I'm like, don't do that to your employees. Just be kind, and don't say things like, I can't empathize with you. It's like, what do you mean?
He's not respectful.
Yeah. So just don't do those types of things, and like just try to advocate for your employees when they want to. And I told Ryan, I'm like, speak up, say something if it's really bothering you, and you guys want to wear those things.
Yeah.
So.
And we did, but that's how it went. And I was like, okay, well, just forget it.
Yeah, and I changed a lot about that school. Like, they would not be allowed to have dress-up days. They would not really have a lot of fun. When I got there, there were, like, hardly any decorations for any holiday. It was literally one tote box that was maybe a 30-gallon.
Mm-hmm.
And that was all the holidays for the whole year. I'm like, wow.
Like,
this is
ain't
great.
gonna work.
Yeah, and they'd already almost been open, like, a year and a half. So I was like, really? Nothing, no plans. So I tried to do all these fun events. So everything that they're enjoying now is really because I had laid the groundwork for showing people like how that goes, and like how we get parent engagement, how we listen to parents when they're saying we want to have connection. Like, one of the action plans I had with a parent was to do that, and I'm sad to say that doesn't happen. The coffee parent thing. Yeah, and it's just like, come on, like, just
getting together and
take
have like
that
an information
work that I did and really do it.
Yeah.
Like, don't just like let it go to waste. So
yeah.
But it is what it is. It's their choice now. But those are things that I would just say, like, make sure that you're feeling validated at work. Make sure you're feeling that people are really going to listen to you and your ideas, and not just use it for their own clout and then cut you. So, and then I think that's all that we wanted to share with you guys. Drop some comments.
Yeah.
If you have, we'll do like a Q&A too, if you have any questions about other things that we should talk about with workplace guidance. And yeah, just lead by example and be a good person.
Yeah.